The boy woke up to find himself dragged back to the nest by a giant eagle with several newly hatched eaglets lying beside him. Before the eagle returned, Xiaowei tried to sneak away, but something suddenly caught her eye. Several lions were climbing up the tree trunk, heading straight toward the nest. Luckily, the eagle returned just in time and managed to fend off one of the lions. But another lion, which had taken a different path, had already slipped into the nest. When Xiaowei saw the eaglets about to be torn apart, she couldn't stand by and do nothing. Grabbing her weapon, she rushed forward without hesitation. She managed to eliminate the threat, but it was already too late. All the eaglets had died in the attack. Hearing the giant eagle's mournful cries, Xiaowei could only turn away helplessly and continue her journey. On the way, she tried to confirm her route with her father, but realized her communicator was broken. From this point on, she had to rely entirely on herself. With only 24 hours left before the effects of her last breath-drinking solution wore off, she needed to reach the ship as fast as possible. To save time, Xiaowei built a simple wooden raft and followed the river downstream. The exhausting journey quickly wore her out, and she drifted into sleep. But she jolted awake when she noticed something terrifying. The temperature had dropped to 0 degrees Celsius, and the river ahead was freezing over at an alarming rate. Realizing she was in danger, she rushed toward a warmer area. But the colder it got, the slower her body moved. Her protective suit began turning white again. Without the suit's temperature control, her strength quickly faded and she collapsed unconscious. But just when all hope seemed lost, an incredibly powerful being appeared, an oil-based ice creature named Will. Urza couldn't sense fear from Will at all. With a sharp blade in hand, Will cuts down Urza as easily as slicing through vegetables. From that day on, he built an elite ranger force to protect humanity. Wanting to follow in his father's footsteps, young Will dreamed of becoming a ranger too. But during the final examination, the examiner rejected him. To encourage his son, Will accepted a transport mission, one involving a massive sphere containing the monster Urza. They were supposed to deliver it to the ranger training base, but everything went wrong. Right after departure, the spaceship was struck by an asteroid. Although they managed to escape through a wormhole, the ship was badly damaged and lost all power, forcing them to make an emergency landing on a nearby planet. But the ship, already weakened from the impact, couldn't withstand atmospheric entry and split cleanly into 2 pieces. Fortunately, Will had his seatbelt fastened and survived the disintegration and crash. As he searched through the wreckage, he discovered that only he and his father had survived. It was only then that his father revealed the truth. This planet was Earth, but Earth from a time long abandoned. The environment was now hostile and deadly. Their only hope was to activate the emergency beacon and send a distress signal into space. But there was a problem: the beacon inside the cockpit. In her dazed state, she saw a huge figure pulling her away from the freezing water. Then warmth slowly surrounded her. When Xiaowei finally woke up, she realized it was the giant eagle, the same one she had helped before. It had shielded her from the deadly cold with its own body, and in doing so, it had sacrificed its life. The sight left Xiaowei completely shaken, but she had no time to grieve. She had to keep moving toward the cabin. Now, what exactly had happened? Not long after, in the year 202, human activities caused extreme pollution and severe ecological damage on Earth. Disasters became frequent, and the planet was no longer suitable for human life. Humanity poured all remaining resources into building massive spaceships, and eventually found a new, suitable planet to colonize. But there was a problem: the planet was already occupied by aliens. To wipe out humanity, these aliens released a terrifying monster known as Urza. Although Urza had no eyes and couldn't hear, it could sense human fear with deadly precision. Under its attacks, humans suffered devastating losses.